right. Hey. We're here.
Back again.
Back again.
Back again.
Little different setup. We changed our streaming platform, and tomorrow, which is today that you're seeing this, or maybe yesterday or days before, depending on where you look at it.
Yeah.
It is pre-recorded.
We are pre-recorded today.
Pre-recording, yet airing live, like this very technical stuff.
It's a live pre-recording. This is like the skits on Saturday Night Live that are pre-recorded.
Except they have a live audience, and we have no audience. Not even Stacy. Stacy's usually here as an audience member.
Well,
she's not here.
We're pre-recording for our own selfish reasons.
Yeah. Right? I mean, you can't miss a night of midget wrestling.
We've mentioned it before, midget wrestling this close to the house. I mean, it's literally right between our houses.
And as long as the wind's not blowing a billion miles an hour, we'll take the barrel boat. We can sit, because they're supposed to be wrestling. Stacy actually called Sarah that works up there, and I think they're wrestling on where they play the music. So
yeah, well, that's a small stage.
Well, they're small people.
Well, all right, yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like it would be a small, whatever the hell, ring.
Yeah.
There. But I was thinking because she had mentioned that, and I was thinking maybe out there on that concrete right in front of it.
Maybe,
I don't know, but either way,
we'd
be on the boat doing it.
Yeah, we'd be on the boat. Would be the way to go.
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah, we get to watch them from there.
So
we get them to climb on the boat.
Yeah.
I don't know what the midget limit is on that thing, but
I don't know, but definitely we should get videos of them doing something with a paddle wheel in the back, because I don't know. I don't know. We're going to get canceled, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm glad this is pre-recorded. I feel like all of this is going to be beeped
out. So anyway, here we are. We went and raced last week.
If that's what you want to call it. We was there for sure. We got on the track under the green flag conditions, but
yeah.
I think Jesse was the only one doing much racing for the most part of it.
Right, yeah. So I get ready to load up. Like, I think I've got everything pretty well taken care of.
Yeah.
We went and raced at Highway 19, shook things down. I go to load up, hit the starter button, and it's like the motor's locked up. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but if you've done it a lot, you kind of know the sound of a dead battery, and it still sounded like it was hitting, but it wasn't turning. In a last-ditch effort, I go ahead and get the battery charger, put it on. It still doesn't turn, and it finally turns over when it does, because my battery's mounted by my left rear tire, and my exhaust, it blows a bunch of water out on the battery charger.
Never a good sign.
Never. So you guys were already getting ready to.
Yeah, I was telling you, we're fixing to leave. And you're like, yeah, you got to save me a spot.
Yeah, save me a spot. We're going to change a head gasket right quick. So I got to tearing it down. I'm not much engine mechanic, but tearing things apart is fairly easy. I just tried to keep track of the bolts, tore it apart. That LS deal was pretty neat. I unhooked a couple wires and just laid the whole intake with the fuel hoses and everything on it back on the dash.
Aren't those gaskets, a lot of those gaskets, like reusable with those?
Yeah. I had a Felpro head gasket that I was willing to use but they had a brand new one at the parts store. So I thought, but the intake gasket, the intake gaskets, a lot of the gaskets are reusable. So anyway, got it all back together and everything fired up. You guys mysteriously left like 3 hours before us, and I think we pulled in 15 minutes behind you or something.
Yeah, it was well, Colton was the same way. Everybody, Colton, he leaves at one point. We were only an hour into it's like a 2 hours, 45-minute trip or whatever. We're an hour into it, and he says he's in Henderson, which is like an hour away from the track. And when we pull in, he's right in front of us. I was like, what the hell's going on? And by the time we get unloaded and everything like that, here you come. And I'm like, all of us are screwing around today somehow. I don't know what's going on. It took us 4 hours to get there. Dad, we pulled in this place in Marshall to get something to eat. And I'm thinking we're stopping to get fast food. Dad Jesse's wanting to go into Applebee's. And I'm really like, we're way behind right now. Really behind. And just because it took us a while, we got stopped and got fuel for the truck. Got stopped and got fuel for the race cars. We were getting in like 5 gallons at a time and dumping it and going back,
Yeah.
So it was, it just took us a little while. And we're slow rolling. We had the motor home and, that kind of thing. But, yeah, they wanted to go into Applebee's, and I was like, I'm not going into Applebee's. We're not waiting that much longer. Let's go to Burger King. And of course, Burger King sucked. Everybody was mad about it. But
I mean, Burger King.
It's fast food. It's not like it's gourmet like Taco Casa. But anyway, we show up, and then you show up. I'm like, Lee almost got here the same time we did. He had a head off his car.
Yeah. So, and then we got into Friday night was a test.
Yeah.
And
practice night.
And besides having a little power steering leak on my car, everything was good. I took the can off the factory stock for external power steering.
But since the last time we were on here, we went on last week. So I wasn't feeling good. You went from an electric power steering pump, to now you're back on the stock pump, but with changes.
Yeah. So the only reason I went to the electric was I'm not on the stock mounts with any. They are stock mounts. They're modified stock mounts. I've cobbled them up pretty good to make everything. Stock mount everywhere. So I thought, well, I'll be a little more happy just having the alternator back on the stock bracket the way it goes and the tensioner back stock where it goes and everything. And I've never thrown a belt. And my mechanical power steering pump put out a mist, which covered my tear-offs, would cover the camera, and not right up. It took a few laps. But so I thought, Chris told me, he says, hey, some drift guys are using this Volvo electric power steering pump. It was an easy mechanical getting it mounted, and the fittings and everything were super easy to get. And then all of a sudden I learned that it only operates at 70% unless you have a computer talking to it. The stock Volvo computer varies at whatever.
In its defense, I only work at 70% too.
Right. Well, yeah. So
never give 100%.
So here I go on YouTube looking at videos, whatever. And I know you guys can tell by the way that I talk that I'm, extremely computer oriented and whatever. But
you're a lot smarter on it than most of us.
I have a couple of.
You work with a computer every day. I don't act like you're not a computer oriented dude.
I have 2 little circuit boards and some wiring diagrams and all this.
You lost me a circuit board, dude.
And so I follow this stuff. I get it together. And of course it's not working, right? I mean, it just I get the feeling going in that this is not, I'm not going to be able to put this together. So not being very hard-headed like I am, I go to ChatGPT, AI.
Yeah.
And I go.
The free app.
Yeah, the free. And I'm like, I explained to it what I'm trying to do with this Volvo pump and that it's not hooked to a computer. I have this Arduino board. I have this other board. I have this. And I'm like, can you write the code to make that work? And it said yes. And it wrote me some code. And so I put that in the Arduino. And I started the car, or I turned it on, and it didn't work. So I go back, and I'm like, I don't know if these boards are communicating. And it just started me. I'm not going to bore you real long on this. We're probably too far.
Yeah, I can't even get my trailer lights to work. You're way over my head.
It started at spot one that would put code in. And it told me it'll say this if you're getting this far, it's going to say this. And I had to ask it where I was going to find that. Even where is it going to say this at? Because it's just a little circuit board that has no display. So it tells me how to open the app and whatever. By the end of it, we get it working. I go to Canton and race with it. I finish with it. I had power steering, was about the best thing to say. It didn't quite keep up. I was going to try and keep Tracy kind of hemmed down. And I got in there hot and went to snap it, and it kind of slow rolled on me right there, and I washed up the racetrack.
Yeah, I almost passed you right there.
So
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just
Colton did.
Well, Colton's got a monster motor in his car right now.
But so Colton passed me. We got that done. So I brought it back, set that aside for the Enduro because I'm not going to fight it for 275 laps or, spoiler alert, 56. And we put the stock pump back in a Summit housing that has a number 10 fitting with a remote reservoir. Got the remote reservoir off the factory stock. That leaked. I welded the fittings up, but the whole top was not. It was a mess. James Brown sent over a backup can. And Chris White brought one also, but I didn't even get to see it. James, that was a nice can that he sent. We used it. We raced with it. And we DNF'd with it.
Well, it wasn't because of power steering.
No, it was not because of power steering. And my car, test night, I thought, I wasn't the fastest car there by any means, but I might have been in the top 5 or 6 of car because my car was the only thing turning out there.
Yeah, the track was way hammered down. Yeah, mine wasn't turning. I'll tell you that.
There was a lot of people not turning. No. They had to set them 2 or 3 times to get around the turns.
Well, it was real wet, and then it's like the only time I ever had to pack the track on a practice night. But it was real wet, and then so we was up there just watching, hoping the track would get a little better. Then you start seeing some people pick up the pace. I'm like, all right, so we all kind of went and got ready, and I hadn't been in that 3-link car that I took, and I've changed a bunch on it. My car. I came in, I was just like, fuck this car. It was cutting out to me, and then it was, kind of had a dead spot in the carburetor and pushing real bad. It was so tight going in that I couldn't even get turned to come off.
Right.
Usually if you're tight entering, you're loose off. But I was so tight entering, I couldn't even get to the middle to be loose to go off. But I got that situated. Your car looked pretty good. JC's car looked pretty damn good, and Colton had his car rolling. That hooked up track with that big old motor he's got, man. He was moving pretty good.
My gear worked out good for the race, but like I was entering on the chip on play day because there wasn't anything out in front of me to slow me down, And
I think I turned 7.
Mine's chip. I say chip. It's got that LS in it, the rev limiter. I think I have it set at 6. I have it set at 65. I think to back it down.
Yeah,
and I don't think I'd hit that before. It sounds just like the chip in the kind of blubbers along there. Yeah. Jesse looked good, and then I did some racing with him Saturday, but. He, of our group, me, you, Colton, and Jesse, he was the best finisher.
Yeah.
And should we bring up some video of his car?
Yeah. So the best finisher ended up with the worst damage, unfortunately.
Here Billy's doing a little walk around.
Yeah, he just to recap on that, Jesse was going to be here in work. So he's doing real good. He's on the lead lap. Roll around the top real nice, and pull up that video and roll around the top. He's rolling around the top. As you can see in the video, there's no walls, right, on the outside. Well, he went off, and if you've ever went off the top of a turn like that, at a track like that, you gain speed. Then you go off. It don't matter if you're on the brakes or you can put that son of a bitch in reverse. It don't matter. Well, he slid down at the bottom of that hill. It's just a concrete wall that's that's pretty much at the bottom of a dirt hill. It's not going nowhere.
Your dad said it's all backed up with, as if the concrete wall isn't enough. They've packed dirt on the backside of that.
It's a concrete wall against a dirt hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyways, so he slams that thing, and as you see, the whole rear clip is gone. We're gonna get that pulled back over. The front wheel was bent worse than I've seen a beadlock bent in a while. Broke the rotor and stuff.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they were towing it off, and the whole front tire fell off of the damn thing.
Yeah, it was.
He's bruised up pretty bad.
We thought he flipped.
Well, I mean, I did too. I took off running over there. I was a little upset that it took him so long to throw the red, especially since the announcers were saying that seeing it happen. But that's I guess that's part of it, or whatever you want to say there. But glad he's okay. Other than he's bruised up pretty bad. I mean, the inside of his arm right here is purple and stuff. He's pretty sore today for sure. And you know how you've been in bad wrecks or gotten hurt. Usually, like 2 days after,
2 or 3, yeah.
That's when it's the worst.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's dying today, but I can't believe he had to go to work and deal with that.
And off subject, if y'all comment on this, we're going to try and watch it along with you as we're watching Midget Wrestling. So
send us your questions here,
and we might,
and also buy some tits like. But we'll be answering questions this whole time.
Yeah.
So we'll be on our respective.
Pages. He'll be on his Infield Tractor Tire Facebook, and I'll be on YouTube, and we'll try and answer any comments that anybody comments as we go along.
Yeah.
We just won't be right here.
Yeah, we won't be here physically, but if you do have a question about something on here, even in a month from now, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think Facebook Live's only last 30 days now. That's what I got a notification about.
Oh,
they're changing.
You need to just download it and repost it as like I do on our YouTubes.
Well, I don't know if the old ones are going to disappear, but because I had them to where they're still up, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But either way, they're on your YouTube. And I guess in my YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, I put them on your YouTube afterwards. I found a thing I'm trying to figure out how, I don't know if it works any better or not, but so I put this on mine and I put this on yours. Well, on YouTube, you can turn a playlist. I was going to say one, but maybe any, I don't know, into a podcast.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming people can sign up for it somehow. I don't even know how. And get an automatic feed. So try that. If you try that and see if it works, I don't know. But
that's me. I don't know.
Anyway, I did break 300 hours of official watch time for the year. Well, I only need 4,000 to be monetized. So.
Well, you're almost there.
Yeah.
I don't know how many I got. Probably about 50.
Yeah, I think we're at 30 in the last couple of days that I looked. You started because he gave me admin rights so that I can post the videos over there, and I'm always curious, trying to help out and whatever. He had one valid watch hour when I started, because they don't count the shorts, and the shorts.
Yeah, that's my thing is short videos.
Yeah, the shorts went viral. The one with Blaze and the puppy, and so he's got plenty of followers, and he gets short, but you got to have millions of short views, and we probably caught it at the wrong time. We probably could have got you monetized on that, but it's kind of fallen back now. Anyway, comment, whatever. We'll answer.
I don't know how that works. No, I'm still at 5,000 followers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you had a little decline right at when we first started doing racing stuff, like the old ladies.
The old ladies that like puppies and little kids over there unfollowing. This guy cusses a lot. Why does he keep saying motherfucker so much?
Yeah. And
I say motherfucker a lot. I don't know.
They don't even let women talk on there.
Well, no, they don't even let women talk. She didn't even say thank you when she handed in that beer.
Right. I'm getting close to 600 followers. 3% of them are women on mine.
Well, 3 of them's me. I got 3 email accounts. So
Well, I mean, you got to help your buddies out. That's the same. I think I'm the same way with. I got 2 or 3 that I follow the Infield Tractor Tire on. I always try and watch. I'll jump on other ones too, and I'll be like, I'll watch it. Sometimes when Stacy goes to work, she watches in the house.
Yeah, how odd.
She watches the whole podcast again and again.
Yeah,
Gets on there and it's like, why is my history always just your stuff?
Yeah.
Because
you love me.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, send stars. You can send them anytime. They don't have to.
It ain't gonna be alive or anything. Yeah, I appreciate it. Usually, I got what's the thing I got wrote down there right now? I probably need to change it, probably because it's stupid. It's like throw some cheese on this cracker or something stupid. I think that's what it says. I don't know. I change it every now and then. It's stupid.
We did get some new software, and let's run through. Let's do put comprehensive
over there. I ain't talked to Dustin in a little while, but I know they got a new location and stuff over there in Shreveport. You get on his website, order anything you need racing wise.
Well, I'm going to get with him because he does hoses and stuff. You've said before, right?
He knows hose.
So that's awesome. I need somebody. We said the power steering didn't take me out of the race.
It would have.
It would have, because when Chris fired the car up to bring it over by the trailer so we could load it up, it blew a power steering hose. I don't know if it was on the pressure side or I had transmission line on the non-pressure side of it, but maybe it was still, maybe there's enough pressure in there.
I thought the brakes went out because he knocked over all your tires when he pulled over there. I was watching it might have been out of aggravation, but he definitely hit some tires and knocked them over.
Well, and in his defense, I'm a 2-foot brake. I never go. So my pedals are mounted really far apart too. And if he wasn't used to that, he might have stabbed for the middle and not found anything.
Yeah. It was an aggravating day. So I don't blame you for I was like, that's what I should have done.
But what good help is he though, huh? Because he's always just down to help out.
Dude. Chris Harrington. Anybody I know Chris right now. Any of my friends named Chris right now are really good help. But yeah, Chris, dude, he was ready to go.
Yeah, man. He's always willing to help out. And he's always a little bit leery of, like, he knows he just has free reign on my stuff, like, because he's done it a while. To me, like, we think a lot alike and whatever. So he'll generally still come to me with an idea, but I'm like, yeah, just do whatever you want to. And but sometimes, like over there with you, he's like, I wanted to jump in there and do this, but I kind of, and I'm like, dude, just go, just approach him, like let him know your thoughts,
I know he's smart on stuff, and he's been around racing for most of his life, and so I don't mind listening to somebody, especially if I know that they're knowledgeable.
Yeah.
If they're not knowledgeable, then you get the fuck away from them.
Especially when you're aggravated.
Yeah. Hey, just get the fuck out of here real quick. Yeah. I know the car's got to push in.
Right. that was me trying to stay calm. Like that's my line. One time I got on to Logan, and he was young, and I shouldn't have got on to him, but I was really frustrated, and he was telling me something, and I'm like, yes, I know the problem. I need solutions. Like don't just keep reiterating to me that the car sounds like it's popping. Yes, I understand that.
No fucking shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of my go-to things. Yes, I understand the problem. Come to me with solutions.
Yeah. But while we're talking about Chris, where's his thing at? You got one?
No, I don't have him one yet.
Oh yeah, we're new app goofing.
Yeah, I forgot to get him one.
But yeah, Precision Car Care.
Precision Car Care.
Right up here, close to Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
Dude, he fixed my dually, and I had to jump on the brakes pretty good a few times, following Dad, because he didn't have no trailer lights. Like, you're over talking about circuit boards. We don't have trailer lights. And he got my dually running good. So
and stopping good.
Or stopping good, as I should say. But yeah, dude, I can't thank him enough for that, helping me out getting that that going because I can do drum brakes. I don't like doing drum brakes, but I also don't have the tools to do drum brakes. And when you're talking about big ass dually with big ass brakes.
Yeah.
The vice grips, I don't know if I would have been able to hook them springs back up with vice grips.
Do the drums, do you have to undo the axle and pull, or do they go over the studs? Like,
you'd have to ask Chris that for sure, but I do know he changed the seal and he sent me a picture. He was sending me Snapchats as he was doing it because he was like, these are the ones that suck, and I'm making me feel bad. and all I'd seen was the axle snout, and I was like, "Fuck, we can put a quick change. We can put hubs on this 5 and 5 hubs on this thing."
I bought an ancient late model for some parts one time, and it had a 3/4 ton floater rear end in it like that.
That's what Dad used to run back in the day and stuff. Yeah,
but
I always liked seeing those.
Yeah, they run the 8-lug wheels with it, on the
They used to cut the centers out of wheels and put them in their own wheels. They didn't run. I don't know how much Dad did this, but I know a lot of the old school guys, because I tend to talk to a lot of the old school guys because I like vintage racing and stuff. Born in the wrong era or whatever you want to call it, but they would get drag slicks and groove them.
Yeah.
And then have their own wheels, own centers in them. And we got to get Dad on here. I tried getting Dad on here today, and he didn't feel like doing it. We need to get him on here talking about some old school stuff. On my old podcast, my North Perk stuff, we had him on there. And you give him a little bit of Jack and Coke. He'll loosen it up and he'll get talking. He was telling us about making they used to make their seats out of 30-gallon barrels. So they'd get them and then cut them, like we have our seats.
Yeah.
And that was their seats. He said, and then they'd go get, they'd have a upholstery guy upholstery them. And that'd be, he said, I'm sure they made seats. He said, but that's just what we had.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. That's really not that bad. Then I think about it, I was like, 30-gallon barrel. Those are like this tall. And then they're really thin.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, that wasn't holding nothing. You get in a bad wreck, that thing's going to spread open. But
I bought a seat at Boot Hill at that swap meet.
Yeah.
And it's a Kirky. And I was like, that thing is thin, man. I was kind of surprised at it. But
I've ran in a few different cars, and they were the thinnest ones you could get. I feel like because I'm not a big guy, and so usually if I'm getting somebody's car, I gotta bend the fucking the sides in. I gotta do something to put a cushion in it or something. And hell, you can just get them like this, just bend them in to you to hold you in place, or getting a good wreck, and you end up bending a rib part of it or something. But the seat technology is way better than it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. I think
I had to use a porta power to bend my seat. I got too fat for the seat that I put in that 3-link car this week, and it was the first time I got to drive it, and I was like this. It was tight, and I'm out there trying to fight it. And the next day, I got a porta power right there and cranked her open.
Definitely. I think back in the day, they like when they first started doing it, they used to get the airplane seats, which probably weren't a whole lot.
Oh, like the bomber seats.
Greater, but
they only go like halfway up.
They still weren't that great, but I think that a lot of guys use those too.
So at the shop, you've probably seen it. Well, we had a 39 Willis under the shed. That was my grandpa's drag car back in the 60s. And he once before he died, he got it going and whatever, pre-painted it and everything. And it has 2 bucket seats in it. And those are the most uncomfortable damn seats I've ever been in. They're like this long total, and you're sitting there like this. And I'm like, I know I don't fit in a lot of stuff, Like, I was like, how the hell? Because he was a lot bigger dude than me, and I'm like, how the hell was he even comfortable? In this thing? But old schools, they wasn't worried about comfort, or safety, or definitely not safety. I like seeing the old vintage in-car cameras. A NASCAR, and they'll be on like a bench seat that was cut in half, and they have just like a deal over here
Yeah.
with a towel wrapped around it or something, and they're in there with their dress shoes, just short sleeve shirt, salt on the wheel. You're like, hell yeah!
You see old dirt track pictures. So my buddy Billy Simpkins that does Bakersfield Tough, somebody give him boxes and boxes of old photos, and he gives it credit to whoever, but he puts them on. He scans them and kind of cleans them up and whatever.
Gets the ball. I've seen some of them.
They are awesome, and they're like got the leather football helmets on and stuff like that.
I got a picture of one of my grandpa's old cars, and I don't think somebody sent it to me. I don't think he was driving it because he at one point he was promoting Speedorama in Lufkin. This is like late '60s, early '70s, right? My dad was a little kid. It might have been like mid '70s. I don't remember. I wasn't there. I don't remember the year. Anyway, and it's a pretty badass picture because it's like a low shot. It's all black and white, and you can see the driver in there, open face helmet, dirt car. You're like, this son of a bitch here was not worried about his face. He was worried about racing. You can see the screen and stuff. Yeah, open face helmet on dirt car. That different breed of people, man.
We'll go back off of that. I'm going to segue into the 275. Then we'll hit some more sponsors.
Yeah.
But early on, it was pretty damn wet down low and up top. I started in the middle, but still the cars were not.
I started on the bottom,
able to stay on the bottom, and cars were trying to get off the top. And I was just my tear-offs were getting loaded up, and I put 30 on there.
Jordan had to take a shit, so she left.
She had to go grunt. But I was giving it the like I'm trying to save them at first. I know later it's going to get dry where I'm not going to need to use near as many.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would try and give a couple wipes before.
It was pretty warm and they were drying pretty quick. So if you get kind of splattered and you can still see through it, you waited about 2 laps, you could just fall off. I was doing the same.
Would do that, and but it was one thing that I had to thought on later. They had a fuel stop at 150, I think, a fuel break, or right around there, wherever they had a red fall, and I felt like. Did you feel like there was? I've only done a couple of these enduros.
Yeah,
I really felt like the driving was more aggressive in this than any of the other ones that I've done. I've only done 4 or so.
I'll be honest. It was usually, you only got a few rough drivers. People that are a little too aggressive for a race like this because we're not racing each other. We're racing a clock.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're trying to make fast laps.
You get a start time and an end time, basically.
You get 275 laps that we need to make. So you try to keep your car clean, and you try to pace yourself so your tires last. You got to have fuel to last. And I pulled off because of the rough driving. Yeah. My car wasn't getting hooked up down the straightaways for whatever reason. I don't know, but I've never been hit that many times going down a straightaway. And seeing other people getting hit and spun around and stuff. And so I'm not real sure of what people were thinking, but it was an extremely aggressive driving for a good majority of the people that we were racing against.
Yeah.
So I'm not I don't know. I'm all for moving somebody out of your way, but holy shit,
Right. Let me see. I didn't set this up. Let me see if I don't ruin something right here.
Oh, well.
So I didn't load this video up, but now it's in here. A guy run into me, didn't get me spun out. Luckily, my car turns pretty far to the right.
Yeah.
And then I drove, and when I felt myself get hung up, I gassed it up just to try and get out of there.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do at that point.
But I posted this is on YouTube and everything. poor Howard Willis, he just got stalled out on that whole deal back there.
Play it one more time in case they missed it. But that it was. And that was a lot of what I seen going on and was happening to me. Like I said, I did 57 laps. You did 56. I beat you.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, in 57 laps, I probably got hit over 25 times.
And that's
a good. That might be underdoing it because I feel like I hit every lap. Yeah. And I understand. Usually, I feel like I'm one of the quicker guys, and I wasn't this time. And I understand I'm a little slower than some of the other dudes. I had slicks. The track wasn't that great. I was holding my line. Like I'm not an aggressive driver. I run the same front bumper for years. And holy shit, I was getting banked off of. My back bumper is broke from people slamming me in the straightaway.
My front bumper is pulled off the mounts from somebody went by me so fast, I guess, that they pulled it right off.
Same with my front bumper. It's pulled forward.
It's pulled forward. My back bumper is broke. I think from that incident, my slider that replaces the shackle on the right rear's got the yellow paint from where he was up underneath my car. And it just – and I didn't – like I was running a comfortable pace. I finished third the first night of the Lone Star 600.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's about the pace that I had. I was like, well, that was pretty good, and I never saw you. I don't remember. You might have passed me once.
No, you passed me. And Saturday, you passed me.
But I didn't remember.
I think everybody did what it felt like.
I thought maybe we were just kind of traveling the same speed because sometimes you get cars kind of on the opposite side of the racetrack and you're traveling the same.
My car wasn't as familiar looking as usual.
And that's true, too. But I worked on it a little bit. You'd think I'd have remembered going by it, but I went over there and helped you some. But anyway, yeah, it was
just me and they're screaming. You might have heard me when you went by. You just,
Mom, call them and tell them to come get me. Yeah. That was my video.
Yeah. I was telling 911. There's been an accident. There's a bit of aggression over here.
Yeah, it was. But there's with that fuel stop, the track was good on tire wear. And so there was nothing to govern anybody.
If we're not running a half mile, we don't need a halfway stop.
Yeah.
And really, even at Devil's Bowl, we didn't need a halfway stop because we used to not have one on the Saturdays.
I bet that is Paul that I did to work on the boat. Will you run out there and just tell him he doesn't owe me nothing for it? It was easy. So I'm sorry.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah. So it was so rough, dude, on the driving side of things. Yeah. The track wasn't that bad. You're going to have some character and something. And that track's really fun to race on. I've raced there a couple times.
It's got some pretty good banking.
It's got really good banking. And
as long as you don't fall off the top of it,
don't fall off the top of it in turn 1 and 2. I'll tell you that. Ask Jesse.
Yeah.
He'll go. But yeah, and I hate that because that's such a good car. He was so fast. I mean, he was on the lead lap. He was so fast at the 600. And we'll get it fixed, though.
Right.
As I told Dad today, I said, don't forget Lee has a tubing bender now.
Yeah.
I said, we'll make something happen.
And
the whole clip of that car is tubing.
But it won't be without some work on that thing. But yeah, we'll definitely get it fixed.
We're going to do some bracing for sure. We're going to rework it, make it a little stronger.
That's a nice car for damn sure.
Yeah. Especially for $500.
Yeah. And I was like, was looking forward to them kind of bringing it up. I thought maybe they'd run it in the Texas stocks a little bit up in Canton.
Well, that's the plan is for Brad to get to make some laps and Texas stocks there in Buffalo Creek, but Highway 19. And but we'll get it fixed. I mean, I've reclipped the back of my late model when I had it. I got wrecked, and it's not that hard of a deal if you do it right.
Yeah,
I think it's harder if you try to fix everything that's bent. If you just cut it off and start over, that's usually a little easier. That's the way I feel about it. It's easier to build something than it is to repair it.
I did talking about Highway 19. I got a trophy. I think I'm gonna leave it with the picture lady, and
Rebecca.
you can call me if you actually want one, but there's nothing for the winners to actually even hold there. So now I'm gonna donate something for them to hold, but if they actually want one, they can call me.
Like I said, we love the track. Like they need some help. They need some stuff there that to make things a little nicer for the driver.
I told Tracy if he wanted to wait till the end of the year, we'd work out a package deal and however many he needed.
I think one year somebody came up and bought a bunch of feature winner stickers, so that was cool. But I like the idea. That's pretty cool. It at least gives you something in the picture. And, and if you want it now, I mean, and you got a fair price on it. Pretty cool deal.
Yeah. That's honestly that's about half of what I would charge for the same piece on the internet.
You give them the old family and friend discount there for sure.
A racer discount.
You're doing that so somebody can get it.
Right? Yeah.
At cost.
Yeah. Let's do. Speaking of your dad.
Yeah,
there's the old Altex Dirt Service.
Dirt Services. He's been a little busy lately, and
that's good because he's got a car to fix.
He needs to get a lot busier. So hopefully some jobs pop up, and best time to do it is now when the weather's still pretty good and it's not too hot out there, and you can get some stuff knocked out.
Yeah, if you're in East Texas and need some dirt work done, be sure to get a hold of him.
Definitely. I mean, he's done some stuff as far as 2 hours away, and he's I mean, he'll probably go further than that for the right money, you know.
Well, yeah, and even if it's a bigger job, I know him and our other friend Austin. They've
teamed up.
They're both kind of privateers, but
Riggs Excavation.
Yeah, Riggs Excavation. They're all we're all friends and everything, and so I've seen them team up on jobs and try and get things busted out. So
Altex Dirt Services for sure, and not just because he's my dad, but he's the man when it comes to moving some dirt around, building ponds, building dams, building roads, fixing whatever the hell house pads. He's not just done it all; he's done it all twice. You know what I mean? So he's the man.
So. I met you the first time I went to. I think we maybe talked online, or maybe we hadn't.
We met at the lake one time.
Yeah, but I had talked to you the first time I went before I raced it to 600. I was there with Rich Denman.
Yeah,
and Rich walked over looking for Hawk Carl, and you were there.
Yeah,
and
I was pretty drunk.
But I mean, you and I didn't talk. Within, it's kind of funny. Paths cross back and forth some. And you sent me a picture where you had shared my Dirt 57 years ago when I built that. And then
who didn't share it?
But I also think it's funny that both our dads are good backhoe operators. Like that's what they do. That's their shit.
Thing,
that's my dad is super good at it, and your dad is too. So it's kind of funny that.
I think it's funny that nearly everybody you know is named Billy or Chris.
Yeah, that's true. Have I told you? I'm sure that I have told you about, but these people out here don't know. So my birthday is June 27th, and everybody that I can think of that I've had a relationship with were all born on the 27th of a month. For whatever reason. If for like every year or every month when the 27th rolls around, some ex or current is having a birthday.
Yeah.
Okay? That's just the damn way it is. And it's kind of funny. So anyway, there's that. And I don't try it. I'm not like, hey, what is your birthday? No, that won't work. Maybe but I'm like, I don't know how it happens.
It's easy to remember. You just gotta remember a month.
Yeah.
Her birthday is April 3rd. Jesse's birthday is April 3rd. Hot Carl's birthday is April 3rd. And then Jesse's Jesse and Kayla are fixing to have another baby, and it's supposed to be April 2nd, but it could be April 3rd.
Right,
You know
could be.
So that makes it easy for me.
She didn't want Jesse hogging the birthday. That's all right. We talked about it before. We'll pregame. Just get through the kid's birthday.
You got to get to the kid's birthday.
Put it to bed, and then we'll just start roll on to Jesse's birthday.
Somebody's going to need to take that kid home. It's fixed to get a very adult-oriented.
Hot call birthday, whatever. Yeah. What? Let's see. There's the Skinny's Automotive. I'll probably call him tonight because I haven't called him to give him an update on the race. I'm sure he saw. He probably watched on Race On, actually. He might have watched on that. But Skinny's Automotive out of Bakersfield, California. He used to have a sign that said Skinny's Harleys and Hot Rods, and he likes a lot of that older stuff. And although he does have a guy there that is very electronic
oriented.
He can
fix anything.
Yeah.
In other words.
Yeah, he can. We've been great friends for years, and that's one of the.
His name's Chris, also.
Yeah, it is
real
Chris.
Name. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he's funny because he can fix about everything, but every now and then I'd get a call and he'd be like, "Hey, when you come by the shop, I got a situation," and you never knew what it was going to be. Yeah. It might be automotive, or it might be something other. Yeah. Wreck going on, but
if he's calling me, it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. But give Skinny's Automotive a call if you're around the Bakersfield, California area and need to get anything fixed. He supports us. We definitely want to support him, as with all these people that we're putting up here. They help support us,
and we got a pretty good. We're covering a pretty damn good area here. We got California, we got Louisiana, Texas. South Texas, which is just as good as another state. We got even the Mint Pig folks.
Yeah,
Donna's Excavation. So if you're in Australia, go over there and need some water meter put in somewhere underground or something. I don't know exactly what all they do. They send me videos and stuff. I don't know. It's over my head again.
I'm sure they probably use the sticks to find the water.
Well, that's what we use. Yeah, the witching. Witching. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I'm also not a magician.
Right.
So never claimed to be.
I don't know how it works either, but the people that do it seem to be good at it.
Dad knows how. Dad knows how, and that's how we found like water lines at our place. And I was like, the fuck ever. And he's over there, dig here, and I'll start digging. Be careful, there's a water line there. Yeah, right. Sure enough, you get 2 foot down, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Get out of here, you evil spirit.
See,
sorcery.
We'll see how this one works out. I didn't know if that was closer to you or Jordan putting their head in. Under. All right.
But yeah,
we'll move on to right now.
Yeah. Big old screens there. Our good buddy Owen down South Texas. Man, they just did a big concert down there around Corpus area. I think it was in Corpus. Don't get me lying on that. South Texas for sure. And they had a menudo cook-off. We had chili cook-offs, barbecue stuff. So it was they had the Tejano music and bands and stuff there. And then it was a cook-off for menudo. And I thought that was pretty cool. So he's got the big screen. He's got 317 awards. He also runs the South Texas Race Ranch. And he runs Houston Motorsports Park. Is that asphalt? Speedway, maybe. I don't remember. But yeah, the only asphalt track in Texas left that I know of.
Oh wow!
Down in Houston, and then he runs kart racing. I believe he still does the South Texas Late Model Series. I'm not 100% on that. I think maybe somebody else took that over this year. But the dude's got his hands in a little bit of everything racing related. So definitely give him some support. If you're in Texas It's not a show without the big O. That's what he says, and it's true. That's the biggest damn TV screen I've ever seen. I was last year, the end of last year, I was down there for 2 different races in South Texas. He had that big screen in the infield, and I caught myself just watching the screen instead of the race that was going on. I'm in the infield watching the screen. Like Race On has the drone going around and all this stuff. But it was just it was mesmerizing. It was like, what the hell,
So my brother, he called me and wanted me to go to NASCAR, but it's the same weekend as 30,000 to win at Boot Hill. And I'm like, I told him, he called while we were up there, and I'm like, no, I'm going to Boot Hill. But
just come to Boot Hill. NASCAR.
When we went to his wife is head of PR, maybe. I'm not. Anyway, when we went up there, that's the funniest thing. She always had nice motorhomes for us to be in. And so you party, you do all the stuff. And when the race starts, you get in a motorhome and watch it on TV. Like you can hear it going around you. But they have all the views, all the replays.
You know what's going on.
Yeah. All that. So
that's one thing I didn't like it when I went to see NASCAR in more recent years. I was just like, I don't know what fucking thing that's going on. You gotta go by the deals and tune into the radio, whether MRP or whatever it is. Excuse me.
And that's also my, I'm not gonna say obsession, but my I like Torchy's tacos, and that's where I had my first ones.
Oh yeah,
in the infield. Yeah,
no good.
Yeah, they have Torchy's tacos there.
I think I have seen that there. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been out in the infield. We used to go to the Good Guy shows a bunch, and but I haven't been in several years because I had nothing to bring. And I'm one of those people. It's like going to the races without a race car.
Yeah,
kind of fucking sucks. So if I'm going to a car show, I want to have something.
Some of the funnest stuff that I did up there, we used to go to the Friday night drags.
Yeah.
Up there, and that was pretty cool because they're street cars and just.
Oh, I thought that's where men dressed up like women.
Well, I don't know, maybe some of them. I don't know. But he actually, like I said, she works for Texas Motor Speedway, his wife, and so they sold their house and were remodeling another house. I don't think they built the whole thing, but they lived in one of the suites. And so when I'd go visit, that's where we're hanging out. You just like, they have the chairs that are right on the front rows to the track from the suite way up there. So you're just hanging out and you're like, oh yeah, they're lining up down there. They're about to start. So we'd get in the elevator and go down.
The only time I've ever been in a suite was at one of the Good Guys shows. And we'd go up there. I think my aunt had gotten one or something like that. And we were up there and you could just see all the classic cars and stuff. My best Texas Motor Speedway story though, was it was at a Good Guys show. I used to have a 58 Chevy, like a Apache or whatever, rat rod, step side. Loved that truck. Had Hoosier slicks on the back. It was my daily driver. It was the only vehicle I had. I bought groceries with it, you know what I mean? Well, me and Jesse go up there. Jesse's a kid. He might be 13 or 14 at this point. Maybe 15 at the oldest. You know, he definitely wasn't driving. He was still pretty young. And so we go up there, and if you're not familiar with the Good Guy shows, it's like a 3-day deal, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they might finish out on Sunday. It's hard for me to remember. But so we go up there, and we're in this 58 Chevy. It's got open headers. Both of us get sunburn on our each arm from hanging out the window using it as the blinkers. I didn't have blinkers through Dallas traffic. Anyway, we go up there, and they wanted like $40 a night to camp on concrete. And if you've ever been out that way, it's flat and it's nothing but like high winds the whole time. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. We didn't bring weights to weigh down our tent. And I'm like, I'm not paying $40. Like, we're on a budget up here. The whole bed of the truck's we got like 2 coolers in our tent and all of our shit there. And so we go to the other side of the track where nobody's camping, and there's like an edge of a parking lot. We go over there, park at the edge of the parking lot, set up camp. And it's probably the second night there. Jesse will probably kill me for this, but he's over. There's no porta potties. There's nobody's over there. He's shitting by this like breaker box or meter box. It's it might be the size of this table. I don't know, but he's just like squatted down and shitting by it because that's like that was the closest place to shit. And this dude pulls up in the TMS trucks. And he's hollering at me. And he's like, "Are y'all at the car show?" Obviously, you know. If we're not, what's the luck? You know,
right? Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Are y'all, y'all camping here or whatever?" And just out of nowhere, I'm just like, "Yeah." And he goes, and he said something about Eddie Gosselin, which was the guy that the president of the track, whatever. He said something about him, and I said, just tell him it's Billy Mazzell. And he goes, "Oh, okay. Y'all have fun. Just make sure you pick up." I said, "Not a problem, man." He said, "Y'all have a good time." Like he was trying to get us to be there, and I just said, "Tell him it's Billy Mazzell."
Right.
"Oh, okay, no problem." This motherfucker left, and Jesse comes over. He goes, "What the hell was that?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah, got him.
Yeah.
It goes back to if you're not supposed to be somewhere, pretend that you are supposed to be there. Yeah. If you act like you're supposed to be there, nobody will ever question.
Skitty taught me that. He had a buddy that got us into California Speedway, and he would just hang a bunch of lanyards with pass tickets and pit passes and whatever, you'd have like 6 or 7 stuff dangling. And he's a big guy, and he'd be like, "I'll walk through first." And he's like, just never acknowledge them and just stay right behind me. And like, we went so many places, man. It just, I got into the pits one year, just walked in and, was definitely where I wasn't supposed to be. But like he had taught me well, and so we got to do all that, and that's just I learned from him, man. You just do it.
That's when y'all got to hang out with Chocolate Myers.
Yes. So he was so cool. Just hanging out with him and talking about he had a nephew doing some dirt tracking and whatever, and it's like, man, I'll leave you alone. Richard Childress was, we were up on top of the suites. Richard Childress was leaning on the fence up there right over the pit stalls. And he's like, "Man, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just waiting on him to get in the helicopter. I'm riding with him, And so we visited a little more. Yeah, he was a super nice guy.
Me and Jesse used to sneak into Lone Star Speedway in the pits. Because back in the day, World Outlaws would go through there and stuff. And we were racing karts 10 minutes down the road at this kart track. It's not there no more. And so we'd still have like race suit stuff on. And I'm like, and he's a kid, and I'm just like, "Hey, when we get up here," and he's a teenager.
Right.
When we get up here, just take off, just jog. Don't run, just jog. We would jog right off in the pits, them race suits, never a problem. Never a problem.
Yeah. Just like you're hustling. I'm like,
I'm in too big of a hurry.
I'm late for my race.
Yeah. I'm running a sprint car.
Exactly.
But then Chili Bowl done the same thing. I don't know if you've ever been there, but in 3 and 4, it's like paid seating. So it's all kind of paid seating, but 3 and 4 is like,
where is it?
What do you mean?
Where at?
Chili Bowl?
No. Okay, see, my confusion is because I thought you were talking about our buddy Chili Bowl.
No.
So
the Chili Bowl.
Okay, I have never been there.
With the midgets that don't wrestle. But I remember seeing. I was up there one time. Might have been my first time there, and I'd already went up there, and early in the day, and nobody stopped me, so I didn't know. I'm just up there watching. I'm like, hell, that's a pretty good spot. So I go to get back up there again. She was like, "You don't have the right wristband." I'm like, "Fuck,"
Yeah.
And then later, see guy I know, he's getting him some liquor, at the little beer stand there, and he said, "Just follow us in, just get in the crowd." Well, it worked. He just kind of we just kind of rushed in there. Everybody's showing the wristband. I just slipped on in. And I'm just kind of sitting at the end of the row. We're all kind of bunched in there, you know. So it is packed. We're watching the A-mains and stuff like that. Well, people kept buying me beers. And I'm like, fuck, I've got to piss. I can't hold it no longer. And I just told him I had a backpack with me that had some stuff in it. And I'm like, hey, taking everything with me. If I don't see you again, thanks. But, you know, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I got to go piss. It's cold, of course. It's January in Oklahoma. So I go to leave. Well, there's a security guard that's checking wristbands at the corner. And so I just started bullshitting with him for a minute. I'm just like, hey, you know, whatever. It sucks you don't get to watch another racing, you know. Hey, where's the nearest bathroom at?
Right.
I've been here. And he tells me when I come back, it's just like, hey, I pissed like 3 more times, man. It was perfect.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure they're familiar with you, you know?
Yeah. So when we were up there, we're talking Chocolate Myers. People keep coming and asking us for credentials, and Skinny would be, he'd just be, oh, these are just my friends. I was just kind of showing them around. We'll move on. We get down to the last one on the row, and there's one guy up there, and he walks over to Skinny, and Skinny's like, yeah, I know, we don't have our stuff. I was just wanting to show my friends, you know, we've done this along every one.
Yeah, same speech, different area.
And he goes, no. He goes, the company I work for pays for all this, and I'm the only one that showed up. So he goes, if you guys want to stay here and watch it from up here, it's fine with me. He took us down, introduced us to the bartender in the suite below, and he's like, just tip her well. The company pays for everything. We had a blast. He was a great guy, and just like we met us a friend, you know, and had a great time.
I went to Gateway. I got to go up in the flow booth. It was kind of the same deal. Just like they had their own bartender there. He had a vest on. I felt like that was nice. That was fancy. You don't see a lot of people with vests. And they had some free food and shit, you know. So I was up there. Hell yeah! I remember I got something. I thought it was queso. It was mustard or something. it was something weird. It was a chicken strip. Get something to eat. I'm just like, fuck yeah, I'm starving. Everything there is expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's
hot
honey mustard.
Got that horseradish in the mustard to take your breath away.
Yeah, what the fuck? I thought this was queso.
Let's show this because I finally got one made for him. I guess we'll make it a little smaller in the future, but
it's not as big as the other one.
Right? Addicted to Dirt, performance racewear. He's a good buddy of ours, and the great shirts, great hats.
Yeah, I don't have their hats on tonight, but they still have the rope hats.
Yeah,
which that's in right now. That's what I like anyway.
They're just trying to. They're a very small operation and trying to go to races and stuff and get things going.
I think they were at Sabine and Boot Hill this past weekend for the crate late model stuff, and they paid. They're putting up money for quick time stuff and things like that. So I mean, they're about racing, and some would say they're addicted to dirt.
Right, they may be addicted to dirt.
They've got some really nice stuff. They got some really nice merch going on, and definitely hook them up. And I'm working with them a little bit. I need to holler at them at some point about maybe get some hats done. Yeah. So it might be one of those deals like if you want an infield tractor car hat, you got to go through them. Right. So my race trailer that I use that I say is my trailer is their trailer. It's sponsored. So we appreciate that, and so check them out. Definitely check them Addicted to Dirt. Follow them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. I guess they put up just some good content for their advertisement too. So he's getting really good. He told me, he's like, man, I just hate social media. And a good friend of mine, 2 of them were having a conversation, and I heard Billy Simpkins. He was telling Wayne Dotson one time. He said, just talking to people isn't my thing, doing sales and stuff. And he was starting his page, Bakersfield Tough, that was his main job. And Wayne was just like, that's your job now. You better get good at it. And so I kind of relayed that to Mike. I'm like, he's like, man, I hate the social media. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty much your job. Which he still has his regular job, but trust me, it pisses me off every day. and I'm not good at talking to people, and that's why I did the open mic stuff some, and not that I won't ever do it again, but I haven't been in the mood to do it. But yeah, it's tough. I'm not a people person per se.
Yeah.
Like I had a few beers in me, or or if I can get comfortable around somebody, then it's good. But I know Mike's not a people person.
No. Yeah,
or Larry.
Yeah. Neither one of them really are, but they do enjoy the dirt race, and that was.
You go up, talk to them. They're cool. They're cool. They're cool folks. I don't think they're the type of people that's going to start the conversation.
I was laughing because we went to Boot Heel after Solo, and they were not down in the bottom where they were before. They were more up by there was some restrooms.
The gate
whatever. But you see the track. Oh, they're rubbernecking from their booth.
Yeah, they didn't get to watch none of that stuff when the Comp Cam Late Models was there. That sucks.
Well, we've been on for over an hour. I think we've got all our sponsors taken care of.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all staying with us through this live, pre-recorded live.
It's the most unlive live. It's like it is a zombie recording. It's live, but it's not live.
And you probably missed it. Jordan did talk, and we edited it out. So
yeah,
we
shut the fuck up.
Save that for later. Buy some infield tractor tire stuff.
Buy infield tractor tire stuff.
We got to send him to Australia.
Headed to Australia. If you'd like to sponsor that deal, shoot me an email, theinfieldtractortire@gmail.com. Also, make sure to go and look at DragonSlayerIndustries.com.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that you have on there, man. It's some of the coolest stuff that you can make out of metal.
And I don't keep a whole lot of inventory because usually everybody wants something a little bit custom. They're like, hey, can you do that? And put my name in it.
Well, you made this.
Yeah.
And he made this. And he made you can see the day planner over there.
Yeah. We should, that needs to become part of our intro where we just spin out. What are we going to talk about? Race car shit.
And he made that sign.
So yeah.
And he made, if you ever seen his the paddle boat, the paddle wheel boat, yeah, they made all that shit too. It's just like, you're smart, dude.
So we need to do if you want something custom, hit me up and follow Jordan Wagley on TikTok. And even though I tried to get away from TikTok, I got stuff going good on there right now.
Yeah, well, you know.
But
you got to keep it rolling.
I'm pushing toward YouTube though.
Make sure you follow us on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that we need the hours on there. If you watch all of this on Facebook, you just go to my YouTube and watch it on there again too.
Yeah, definitely. So all right. Thank you all for tuning in and watching this, and we will be live next time you see us.
Yes, and don't forget, if you're on here, we'll answer your questions on the comments live.
So I think the camera is where the TV's at.
Yeah, I feel like we need to move. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.